you for all those that attended. I know many have come a great distance, and we appreciate your support. I've had the privilege of knowing Skip Shelley for 27 years. As most of you know, Skip was my father-in-law. Skip was a loving and devoted husband, father, grandfather, and friend to many. And for the past several years, he cared for his wife, Carol, who struggles with dementia. Skip took care of her until his pain from his cancer was just unbearable. That's the kind of guy he was. He thought more about others than himself. All anyone had to do was ask for help, and Skip would always be there. He had an honorable career as a Green Beret in Vietnam. And being so humble, he would say that it was not very difficult to be a Green Beret. In fact, almost anyone could do it. Now, that's not quite true, as the dropout rate from Green Beret school is about 80%. About a year ago, I was chatting with Skip about his military service, and he just kind of slipped out that he won the Bronze Star. Not only once, but twice. In all the years I've known him, he never mentioned that he was awarded such a huge honor. After leaving the military, Skip worked at the Navy Yard in Philadelphia as a machinist. He eventually retired and started his own business as a handyman, Mr. Fix-It. That was a perfect job for Skip, helping people. Whenever I needed help with anything, all I had to do was ask. Nothing was too small, nothing was ever too large. Skip always told me that nothing was impossible, and would never admit that he couldn't do something. He kept plugging away, and eventually he would accomplish the impossible. Several years ago, Skip's dog Buffy was stolen. It took literally years, but Skip searched for Buffy every day. Anyone else would have given up the search. Skip had posted signs all over his neighborhood. Then one day a man showed up at Skip's door and said that he knew where Buffy was. Apparently his girlfriend had took the dog for her small children and renamed Buffy Chuck. Skip went to the house, took Buffy back, but never expressed anger towards the family. In fact, he actually felt sorry for them. For years, Skip was proud of the fact that he didn't participate in modern technology, such as computers and the internet. Then about 6 months ago, we bought him an iPad 3. And instantly, he jumped from the 1980s to the 21st century and was amazed by the internet, email, and text messaging. Then a couple of months later, my wife Lori sent me to the AT&T store to get him a new cell phone. But she told me explicitly to get him those basic type phone, no extras. Now, anyone who knows me knows how much I love technology and would understand that sending me to the AT&T store to buy him a flip phone probably was not going to happen. Not surprisingly, we came home with an Apple iPhone. Skip must have told me about 10 times how happy he was that I took him phone shopping instead of Lori. Skip did have a couple of quirks. For some reason, he could not pronounce the word funeral. He would say funeral. I would tell him the word was funeral. And he would say, "That's right, Bob, funeral." About the worst thing I can say about Skip is he liked to talk to everyone. My brother-in-law, Neil, told me that during a recent family reunion, Skip struck up a conversation with his neighbor, Ray. In one afternoon, Skip learned more about his neighbor than Neil did in 5 years of living next door. That's the kind of guy he was, always willing to lend a helping hand, always kind to his friends, his family, even strangers. He was just a great guy to the core. Skip, I want to thank you for all the happy memories of our times together. I want to thank you for being my life as my friend, as my father-in-law for the past 27 years. We will miss you and love you always.
That was nice. That was nice. Beautiful. Looks bigger.
If there was one thing you could say about Grandpa Skip, it was that he always tried to do the right thing and persevere past life's challenges. Skip served in the military for 21 years and went on tours around the world. He had 2 medic, he saved countless lives by evacuating men, assisting the wounded, and delivering babies. He was not only honored by our military, but beloved by the Vietnamese civilians who he helped. During his 2 tours, Skip received the Bronze Star twice and 12 other awards. His favorite story to tell about Vietnam is how he and other soldiers beat 8 communist troops. But if you ask Skip what he hated most about the war, he wouldn't say it was fear of the enemy, but the leeches that lurked in the river. It was funny answers like this that made being around Skip an unusual but very enjoyable experience. But finally, after traveling the world, after 160 parachute jumps, and after saving dozens of innocents and wounded, Skip retired from the military. Almost 30 years ago, Skip met my grandmother Carol, and they spent the rest of their lives together. Skip and Carol had a mutually beneficial relationship and worked through their problems together. Whether it was Carol's dementia or Skip's addictions, they persevered together, never for a moment wavering for their love for each other. For it was their love that bonded their friendship and pushed them forward, through thick and thin, until death finally did them part. Skip once said that he couldn't imagine not being with Carol, and that he wanted to be buried in the same coffin with her.
Never think so.
It was this feeling that kept him strong during the years he spent as Carol's caretaker after her dementia took effect. His heroic qualities that saved dozens of people in Vietnam now work to care for the person he loved most. Skip used to say that if he died tomorrow, he could die with a smile on his face. Let us hope that he did, because Skip was a man of love. He loved his country, he loved his family, and he loved his wife until the end.
Skip is truly a kind and helpful man. I'm going to talk about 3 stories. The first story is when I came home, freshman in college, during winter break. My homework was to build a balsa wood model house, and it kept on falling apart, and I went to Skip, and he helped me to the end, and he made it stand on strong and beautiful, and that's how Skip is. He was able to make a house strong and beautiful, and he was able to make our family stronger. The second story is, the following summer, my mom had squirrels in her attic, and they were tearing apart and making noises, and my mom tells the story also, and I had somebody come over, a mutual friend come over, and they fell through the rafters on the roof trying to get the squirrels and the birds out of the attic, and Skip volunteered. They cracked the ceiling in 2 bedrooms, destroyed the ceiling, and Skip volunteered to help fix the house and chase out the squirrels and put everything back together again. And that's a second experience and a second story. And Skip was wonderful. He knew how to fix the messes. He made the drywall perfect. He fixed the ceiling, and he came to the rescue. He served our family. It was more than fixing houses for him. It was also building decks and making jacuzzis and porches, but it was way more than that. It was untangling fishing lines for my sons and building toys together. He was building a happy life with us and a happy life for my mom. And the third story is, my first day in New York, after college I moved to New York, and at 4 a.m. in the morning, Skip packed up all my belongings in his pickup truck, and we drove into the city and through the tunnel.
I remember.
He parked illegally on 58th Street, which he brags about. And we did a U-turn in the middle of the street, and we got up 12 flights of stairs with a bed and all of my belongings, only to find out my key didn't work, that my roommate, who was renting the apartment to me, didn't work and didn't turn the door. We carried everything down 12 flights of stairs into storage, only to get outside and not to get a ticket. And he got back in his truck and drove away as my hero.
afternoon. We are assembled here to give a last tribute of respect and affection to a departed comrade. The years told by as the ranks of our veterans diminish. One by one, our comrades leave us and they join that company of heroic men and women who have defended our country under arms. With the help of God, they have kept America free for you and for me so that we can truly be one nation under God. Departed comrade, veteran of war, well done. The warfare is past, the battle is fought, the battle is won, and thou art crowned at last. This flag we call Old Glory shines brightly because it acquires its brilliance from the American veterans who have fought and died to preserve it. It seems to me that our flag shines even brighter today as we honor an American veteran.
symbol of our appreciation for your loved one's honorable and faithful service.
You pay our last respects and honor Skip Shelley, devoted husband, father, grandfather, and our brother.